to another stream. Today we're trying to do the following. I have generated a few more terrains with heights, so it's there. They look like these. It's all satellite images, and they are all like 4096 squared. And yeah, I have the also generated heights. That isn't perfect, like usually they should have very similar heights, but they don't, because the model, AI model to estimate the height map, it's just not trained on height or on terrain images. But look at that, it's not too bad. And also I'm adding like 3% of the color brightness so that you get a little bit of structure, even if the height map would be completely flat. Here, for example, I'm adding even 10%. I reduced that because I thought it was too much, but maybe it would have been better. But let's see how it turns out. I would like to have a button, maybe here. Oh yeah, the ring distort looks really great, even when no terrain is being rendered. But yeah, so we get a couple of errors because the files are called differently now. And let's go here again and maybe make some folders. Make folders for colors 0001 PNG and colors 0001.png. Oops, not colors but heights. And move both files into that folder that is named just 001 for every number from 1 to 13. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes. So we have to do this again. Pad with zeros. Don't forget the trailing slash in the file names. What does seek do? Ah, it does zero pad stuff. Okay, that's good, but it won't work because the original files they have a few more zeros, but we do this manually now instead of explaining it to AI. Now this should work. Yes. So yeah. Oh, damn it. Actually, what we should have done is rename it into just heights and colors. So that's a bit unfortunate now. But what we can try is we execute the same thing again. So we say for I in 113, do move E, and then we just say colors.png, and we say, oops, colors E heights, we move it to heights.png. This could work. Yeah, look at that. And now we can try. Yeah, looks good. So our directory structure is fine. Here we have all the legacy things. And now we can go to the code, into the terrain shaper, I guess. And then we should have a switch to selector, or we just have a next button, next terrain, and then we have something like const terrain number of terrains. It's 13. And there we load terrains, and we want to load 2 terrains in the beginning, or maybe just 1. No, 2 terrains. But then the second terrain is always the next terrain. So we have a current terrain and a next terrain. And then when somebody clicks transition, we do a transition, but we already load the next terrain. So load terrain, load image. So I think we need 3 things, because we're doing a transition from one to the other, but then at the same time we want to be able to already load the next one. So, but yeah, the texture loading is takes quite a lot of time, so it's blocking, so it makes the visualization stop. So maybe we should load all of the textures from the beginning. So we have load terrain here, and then we have a name. Where do we execute this? I remember we executed from the terrain shaper. So maybe we say public async load all terrains, and then we go to the shaper, the terrain renderer, and here we say, don't load just 2 of them, load all terrains. I don't know if we have that much video memory actually. Is there a way to... Can we load terrains? Can we load textures in WebGL in a non-blocking way? I think we're already doing this in this way, so I'm skeptical. I'm not sure what causes the lag, the upload into the video memory or the decoding, especially with these large images. It takes a lot of time. We can also say, I mean, look at that, we can say for debugging we just load 3. And then when we say update terrain, this one creates the two, like the combined texture, combined terrain colors and combined terrain heights. We can also put this together in the same shader later. That's also a little optimization that we can do. So maybe let's put this into a combined, into a joint shader to output textures or color buffers, so we don't have to do all these calculations twice. Alright, and now when we do update terrain, we don't only have a number t, but we have like index a, which is a number, integer, index b, and we have I'd like to call this p for progress, like progression from one texture to the other. So and instead of 0 and 1, we use index a and index b here too. And now we need to add some logic in the terrain renderer. Here we call this update. What is it called? Update terrain. So let's think quickly where we want to put this. So we could put it here into rendering because this is all related to the terrain. Having a button here, I think it would make sense. Also, like the time that the transition takes would also be good to put it here. It might be similar to this fader relative to relative to, or it might be like 2 to the power of whatever this fader is put to, so that we get like 1 beat, 2 beats, 1 bar, 2 bars, and so on for the transition time. And then we would like to have a button. And yeah, we can always only combine 2 textures because otherwise it's really getting too effortful. And I think in the terrain shaper we also have a texture size. Actually, we have it here and it's currently set to 1024. Is this getting too... yeah, right now we don't see anything, but I was wondering about the performance. We once had problems with the performance here. So update terrain. Let's go back to this function. So yeah, we need something like this punct from terrain, this punct to terrain, and maybe then when we say from and to, or current and next, I think from and to is okay. We can go here and rename this the same, so from terrain index to terrain index. And then when we like to introduce a button, and we said we'd like to have the button, yeah, in the rendering, because we should call rendering terrain actually. Also like the terrain scale, terrain height, and so on. So rendering terrain, and here we can create a new pad, switch, or let's call it next terrain. New controls. Pad receiver. Looks good. But the numbers are not good. We'd like to put it... Oh yeah, first of all, we'd like to see terrain immediately. It saves us some time when looking at stuff. And now here, obviously, that's bad. We already knew that we have to go to like set some other values here. 20 maybe. Or 15 actually, like, you know, it's like relative to the aspect ratio, so now it's quite square. I like it like this, so let's keep it 15. Next terrain, and then we could also have a button which is like random terrain. And this one I would have to move, oops, down by 15. And it shouldn't be so green. I was imagining it to be some weird color like this. And then terrain dot swap, terrain shaper swap. So swap. I don't like to have this method here. What is this doing anyways? Shaper swap. So this is what we should manage from outside. It's not the business of the terrain shaper, I would say. Because this one shouldn't know anything about time and stuff. This was just a workaround for testing. So what we do actually is we say this terrain switch progress equals 0, or maybe we could also schedule something. No, we can't, but because we want to switch around. So this from terrain, and we should call this index next terrain. And then we should also know like the terrain count. We should bring this over from here, number of terrains. Should be in the config or so. Terrain count. And then we don't call swap here. And actually we don't store the progress here. We say start, something like this. This terrain transform start this clock get bar or get beat. And in case of the random one, we say next terrain count, but -1 because we don't want to switch to the same one. And then we say if next terrain equals or is larger than the current 2 terrain, we increment it by 1, so we have to not make it const. And then we can set 2 terrain to next terrain. Now we have to define all these variables in this class. Maybe here somewhere, bring distortion, terrain transform start. And then we need a terrain transform duration. Terrain transform duration. And this should be, I don't know, fader? Not sure. Oh, this is wrong. Like here we have some formulas which we shouldn't have. Why is that? It's called random preset every. This is in loop. Random preset every. Yeah. I mean, we cannot have. Oh yeah, actually, it's just a matter of. Now we get an error. Internal server error. That means we're doing something extremely wrong. So let's see, what are we doing extremely wrong? We still call swap here. Ah yeah, and now we can also stop making updates. So we say only if it's different from before. So we say something like dirty so we say terrain transform progress. This could be right, it looks quite right, but let's see. This terrain transformation duration. Well, no, not really. So actually we should call here where we calculate the duration. So first of all 90, 30, let's put it to 80, 0, 50, oh actually I mean 30. Yeah, and this can be 0. And then actually I think we should set the it here directly, so we save some calculations, because we say math.round value, so we say duration terrain this terrain transform duration equals math pow. And then we should say it's like the beat duration. It's the duration in beats. So if we have 0 here, it takes like 1 beat for a switch. If we have 1 there, it takes 2 beats, and so on. And honestly, I think Something like 5 or so is probably enough. Alright, terrain, transform, duration, beat duration.
London, make some noise for Tom Misch right here.
And now he is complaining that we are not using terrain transform start yet. It's kind of true, we're just setting it. So, terrain transform progress. Now that's interesting. This will be this like beat minus terrain transform start. Let's check that this one is really beats. No, it's bar at the moment. Now it's beat. Apparently we don't need bar. Fine with me. So we have this progress, and now it would be good to cap that. So if terrain transform progress is larger than 1, we say it is 1, and also we say terrain transforming, we set it to false, and we only do all of this if terrain transforming. So we stop eventually. So we save some calculations, especially this one. This one is heavy. So, but now we have to create a new for this. And we set terrain transforming to true here, and also to here. Oh no, not here. I'm sorry. Or maybe, no, never here. We're not seeing anything yet, so maybe we should work on this for now. Number of terrains is not defined. That's true. Number of terrains is not defined. Load terrains. We need to go into the shaper. Load all terrains. This takes number. And then 0 patch. I rename it so that we never get issues. 0 padding, 3 digits. Alright, so now that we have this, we're calling load terrain. We get our terrain textures, we're loading them. So I wonder what is not working yet. Colors and heights, and it's PNGs. It's not being logged yet. I cannot see a log. So, and I also cannot see this loading undefined terrains. Yeah, of course, like in the renderer. Load all terrains. Terrain count. Loading 3 terrains. Error, okay. Name. Aha, here it is introducing this terrain thing. So now loading 0 terrain. Cannot error loading texture 0, 0, okay. So we load 0, 2 and 3. Now everything is running, apparently. But it's not working yet. Why is it not working yet? Maybe because when we do... Aha, because we have to call it at least once. So we should have something like in the terrain shaper. If it's like 2 the first time. So now, if we load the second one, it gets automatically used. Maybe we could even do it, like if it's the first one, we can say load the first one. You see how long it takes until it gets loaded. I don't know why exactly. Maybe both of them should be set to 0. Also, obviously, it's not working. From terrain, both are 0, so that's fine. But for some reason, if I hit this button, I see a change immediately. Tuk. It's really, really weird. When I click, it changes immediately, and then sometimes it does some halfway transition. Let's log the terrain transform start, get bar. Okay, so this is wrong. Get beat, but that's like the random button. Beat minus start divided by terrain transformation. So I'd like to see with what does this start. Well, it looks good. Goes from 0 to 1. But here, like, there was a mistake, simply. We didn't use the... Oh, but we still get, like, we switch around before we do anything else, which is bad. Also, it's always, no, it's 3 textures. From terrain and to terrain. From terrain equals to terrain. So we start from where we have where we ended, and then to terrain. So this should work actually. And to terrain is here we incremented, and here it doesn't matter. Like, what about this? Also changes immediately. But this one works. No, it doesn't. Only sometimes. Or maybe always. Or only if we don't wait until it's finished. Switches immediately. Do you see that? And that's weird. It almost suggests that we're not passing the right values here. Update terrain, or maybe we have it the other way around. So we go from to terrain to from terrain, maybe. We have to look into the shaders. Combine. So here we have T, we call it P, and then texture 0 is from, so from text to text, from text to text, and then we do mix, from color, color to color, from color to color. And then we have weight, which is our progress, I think. T minus overlap size. Do we use that inverse max length somewhere? No. Okay, let's just try to swap this around. Doesn't work. Which is weird. It should work. Oh, something else doesn't work. Maybe we did. What did we change? Whoops. Oh, we changed the texture names from text and to text. So let's try this again. 1 minus. And then here, text. No, so these have to be named from text to text terrain heights to weird. Also, I mean, it's weird that it stops like halfway. Do you see that? It's like It's really weird. Because T, are we doing some calculation in the shaper with the T? Oh, it's called P. Combine terrain, colors, unilogs, T. It's just G, T, let's call it P. And in the shaders, well, we have to think about this again anyways. 1 plus overlap size. Aha, overlap size. Yeah, actually, aha, this is where we do the length calculation. This is why we don't need the inverse, the square root thing. This is like a diagonal, and that's fine. So we can calculate the way, let's call it way. One plus overlap size times 2. Start and end, what is this doing? Ah, this is the range where it starts transitioning from one to the other one. So one thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to add something as long as we're in between. But that we can also do later. For now, it's like weird. Overlap size. What is he complaining about? Undefined specifier. Yeah, it's called P. No. And then also combine colors. Here we want to do the same way, it's called P. But still we get weirdness, I think, because we haven't changed anything significant. Let me plug in my laptop. It's running low on battery. Whoops. Alright, so yeah, let's try. Switch, change, switch, change, switch, change. And at least that is working again. It's not running halfway. It's like going from 0 to 1, and if we make it slower, it's nice. But if we make it slower, it happens that it still catches it, so something doesn't seem to work, which is the thing that it's being set to don't do any checks anymore. Transforming, I think it was called. So transforming, true, and here it's being set to false. So now, yeah, I mean, let's try it again. So we have this, but then it still runs again, which is weird, because look at this. We can even lock here. So transformation done. So zack, transformation done. Oh yeah. Transformation done. Now it does work. So maybe this was some weird view weirdness. Let's keep this for now, as long as we are still puzzled about the immediate switch. Blue, brown, yellow. Blue, brown, yellow. Blue, brown, yellow. At least the order works, and you get blue, brown, yellow. Brown, yellow, blue. So this is random. It does work somehow, but I'm really not happy about the situation. So let's just lock them. This from terrain to terrain. So now click from 0 to 1, from 1 to 2, from 2 to 0. So this looks fine. So I think the issue does come from the shader. Here I think we just have to turn things around. I mean, we could, like, probably it's about this. Here we say start and end. So the length, so we end up using getting a phone call, but it's like my French number, Spanish number. It's probably a scam. So, yeah, what is this? So we have to start. Yeah, so that's the reason. We take 1 if we are still behind it. So let's like turn around. If we want to unturn this, maybe it's the nicest place to do it here actually. Combine colors, track heights, here you see. Now this works. We should, in the renderer, we should stop logging all these things. So let's try something. Let's play around with it a little bit. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, so... Oi, oi, oi. The microphone was not well positioned. I hope you could hear me most of the time. Anyways, we have arrived. We can now transform from one terrain into another one with the press of a button. I thought about preventing people from hitting the button while the terrain is still changing so that they cannot get this immediate switch. So this would look like this pad. Oh, so many pads. So we allow this only if it's not transforming. I like to do it like this. I don't like these if and then return. That's bad because when you look further down you don't realize maybe that there's some case in which it's not happening. So there we go. Now if you press many times, no effect until the transition is complete. And if you turn it into very slow, then you have to wait for a long time. Ooh, there's these waves. Well, that's maybe too slow, but it's up to you, you know. 5, 0 to 5. Why is it possible to set it to 6? Because we have put 6 here. Now we can only set it to 5, which is maybe a more reasonable speed of transitioning between two terrains. Still slow enough. Alright, so that's it for today. See you next time.